Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Reaction to Joe Glazer's fans forum. So, it's here in Sky Sports. It says, Manchester United, Joe Glazer announces fan share scheme after meeting with supporters. Joe Glazer, executive co-chairman, met with United's fans forum to begin discussions following months of frustration from supporters over direction of the club. It comes after last month's protests over the European Super League proposals, which United owners were at forefront of. So we'll go further down now. That's the headline. So Manchester United have set out their vision for the future in a fans forum meeting, which will include the creation of a fan advisory board and a fan share scheme. So Joe Glazer met with the club's fans forum to begin discussions following months of supporter frustration with the direction which the club was going, like I've already mentioned. It comes after Manchester United supporters Trust Must wrote an open letter to Glazer earlier on this week, urging the club owners to engage in fan consultation. Go further down. The letter followed protests at Old Trafford last month over European Super League proposals, which United's American owners were at the forefront of. Making his first fan forum appearance in 15 years of owning the club, Glazer outlined his intentions to not only invest heavily in all aspects of the club but to strengthen fan representation in the decision-making process. To this extent, a fan advisory board to consult with the club's senior leadership and owners would be created, with this consisting of representatives from the forum and key fan groups. This would establish a foundation for supporters to build a meaningful... Oh, wait there a second. Wait there a second, I missed one part. To this extent, a fan advisory board to consult with the club seniors leadership and owners would be created, with this consisting of representatives from the forum and key fan groups. The club will also... Wait there, it's just going a bit, didn't it? So wait there. Just wait a minute, it's just going a bit slow. I apologise for all this waiting. So anyway, yeah, so I've got to the part of how I think the club will also initiate a direct dialogue with the aim of identifying a mutually beneficial fan share scheme involving a new class of shares which will each carry the same voting rights as the shares owned by the Glazer family. Then this would establish a foundation for supporters to build a meaningful ownership stake and create a new spirit of partnership with the club. Following the meeting, Glazer said in a statement on United's official website, "I was pleased to join the fans forum to listen to the views of supporters, address their questions and share ideas on how we can improve the way we work together. As owners, we want exactly the same thing as the fans, a successful team and a strong club, and we want to work in a partnership to achieve those objectives." Fans are the lifeblood of Manchester United, and I am personally committed to ensuring that they are given an enhanced voice. Try to get a bit further down. Just wait there, it's just going slow. I'm just trying to get further down. Just wait there a second, it's just reloading back up. It's just playing up, I really apologise for this. I'm just trying to read as much as I can out. Voice. Through the creation of a fan advisory board and a fan share scheme. Wait a second. The club has been in discussions with Musk regarding a fan share scheme for a number of months and has already sought external legal advice on options. Discussions will now intensify with the aim of agreeing a plan before the start of the new season. Glazer also defended the club's sustainable business model over the last decade at the meeting, claiming that the commercial growth of the club had helped deliver the required revenue to be successful on the pitch, as well as keeping ticket prices affordable for all fans. However, he went on to concede that further investment in the squad, scouting network, stadium and training ground would have to be found over the coming few years. On the proposals, Glazer said, "We will continue to invest in our academy and in the transfer market to support the manager in our effort to meet the club's goals." As a club, we have devoted a lot of time and resources over the last several years updating and further developing our vast global scouting network to adapt to the modern football environment. This is a project that should provide a foundation for long-term success in the years to come. In addition, as you all know, we have also been focused on growing and developing our women's team in line with the traditions and the values of the club, and we are committed to continuing that process. Old Trafford is at the heart of Manchester United, and while we have spent over 100 million over the last 10 years on infrastructure projects, we will now accelerate the process of planning much more significant investment and upgrades to the stadium. Rest assured, we will consult with supporters throughout the process to end up with a result we can all be proud of. And a statement from Musk said there had been a frank exchange of views in Friday's meeting, and that Glazer had been held to account on a series of issues including debt, dividend payments, ticket prices, lack of investment in the stadium and lack of engagement with supporters for 16 years. It described the share scheme as potentially revolutionary and said Must is cautious about whether the fan share scheme will meet their own tests before they give it approval, as despite the huge concession on voting rights that this proposal signals, as ever the devil is always in the detail. In particular, despite Joe Glazer's assertion that this will be the largest fan ownership group in world sport, Must is concerned that there is a risk that the scheme will limit the number of such fan shares made available, so reducing the opportunity for this to achieve a meaningful collective fan ownership stake, and ultimately with the potential to result in a change in control of the club. For that reason, Must is today signalling their intention to recruit the millions of members of Manchester United's huge global fan base to unite behind their campaign and sign up to their pre-launch Sign for United campaign site so they can be part of the campaign when it launches in the next 10 days. The aim of the campaign is to demonstrate the huge appetite amongst United support for a better model of ownership which embraces the fans at its heart, and in so doing compel with the club to deliver a real revolutionary fan share scheme which will both excite the fans and also exceed their demand for shares. So there you go. Obviously, towards the end of last season, there was a lot of protests at Old Trafford against the Glazers. Obviously, you can understand the fans' frustration. Like I said, the Glazers have been at Manchester United now for 16 years. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. And the Glazers have put us in so much debt. And I hate the way the football club has been run in general now for a long time. At the beginning of May, Solskjaer did say that the Glazers apologised to him. He said the violent incidents went too far. But he said the club needs to take notice of the fans. At one point, Solskjaer was angry with Gary Neville over the Man United protests. At the time, Gary Neville had quite a lot to say on it. It said last month as well that Joe Glazer wrote a letter to Man United fans and Avram Glazer refused to apologise over the European Super League plans because the Glazers were planning to ditch the Champions League for that European Super League. It said towards the end of last season that the Glazers could be forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Before that, it said they've got no intentions of selling the club. Now, Jadon Sancho deal is close. Sky Sports have said Man United are in continued negotiations with Borussia Dortmund over the signing of Jadon Sancho. We want the deal done for Sancho before next weekend. We are increasingly confident that we will finally sign Sancho. We are prepared to pay £80 million for him. Konstantin Enke, who is a Bundesliga journalist, he recently said that Man United have reached an agreement in principle with Sancho, but he said we haven't made no bid yet. Sancho has agreed the personal terms with Man United and would prefer the signing of Sancho over Harry Kane. As far as I'm aware, we are no longer in for Harry Kane. A couple of days ago it said that Man United were set to launch an £85 million bid for Sancho after a secret transfer meeting. Fabrizio Romano came out yesterday and revealed how much Borussia Dortmund want for Sancho. He will cost around 77.4 million to 81.7 million, and Romano said Man United are interested in him. Sky Sports said not so long ago that Man United is the most realistic destination for Sancho, and Man United do remain in talks with his representatives. Borussia Dortmund have already told Jadon Sancho that he can leave the club this summer. So Solskjaer made him a transfer priority. Jadon Sancho has Man United transfer hopes as Borussia Dortmund are looking for replacements. And he's already said he wants his future resolved before the start of the Euros. Dortmund did confirm earlier on this year that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho that will allow him to depart Dortmund this summer. And the Manchester Evening News said that Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund. But he'll be a great signing for Manchester United. The reasons, because he'll fit in our team perfectly. He's predominantly a right winger. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's good at creating chances. He can score very good goals. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. And he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. So they are the reasons. Sancho to Man United last year was extremely close. You know, the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and a contract had been agreed. But the reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Now, you know the news on Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. The Athletic have said today that Man United have opened up talks to sign Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. The player himself thought to have begun house hunting. The Manchester Evening News said that Man United revive interest in Kieran Trippier as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is unhappy with Wan-Bissaka's attacking output. Wan-Bissaka is the only recognised senior right back at the moment at Man United. Now I reckon you'd get Kieran Trippier for around £18 million. Everton are also interested. We was interested in Kieran Trippier in the January transfer window, but we culled our interest because Kieran Trippier got banned by FIFA for breaching betting rules. His current contract with Atletico Madrid expires next year. He won the La Liga title with Atletico Madrid last season. Atletico Madrid paid £20 million for him from Tottenham. I think there's a chance that Man United will sign Raphael Varane this summer from Real Madrid. It said recently that Man United have offered Raphael Varane a 5-year contract and a higher wage than the one he's on at Real Madrid. Romano has already said that Raphael Varane is refusing to sign a new contract at Real Madrid. It recently said we may have been handed a boost in our pursuit of Raphael Varane, with Carlo Ancelotti returning to Real Madrid. Spanish outlet ABC have said that Raphael Varane appears to be in favour of making a move to Man United. Man United and PSG have already made offers for Varane because it's impossible for Real Madrid to meet his demands. He said the other day that Varane could be available for as little as €40 million, which is a bargain. He recently spoke out on his future. He said it's unlikely his future will be resolved for the summer's European Championships. Man United have already held talks with Raphael Varane's representatives. And Romano did say towards the end of last season that Varane is the main name on our list. And, we was waiting to see what happens with his situation at Real Madrid. Real Madrid initially want £60 million. Not so long ago, they rejected a £40 million bid. Like I've said on my recent videos though, Varane would be a great signing for Manchester United. He really, really would. And you already know the news on Declan Rice. Solskjaer has said he wants 4 new signings this summer in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. We can challenge for the league next season providing that we recruit well in the summer transfer window. Summer transfer window opens on the 9th of June, which isn't long now. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Man United in general, because it's very imperative he gets the players he wants to recommend in. Our board will back Solskjaer with a new 3-year contract and summer signings, despite our Europa League final loss. And Solskjaer has already been given a £150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. We are in the Champions League next season, so that means we will attract players to the elite level. But Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves, reflecting on what the board have recently said. And plus we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've also got Matt Judge. And Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. Obviously, players are going to depart the club in the summer transfer window, so in that aspect will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. Next season is going to be massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think he is aware of that. I'd say next season Solskjaer's got to win a trophy if he is to remain Man United manager. If things start to go wrong next season, then I believe that the pressure will be back on him. Solskjaer's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's 4 years now we haven't won a trophy, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Obviously, there is some United fans that are Ollie out, reflecting on that Europa League final loss. But there was a lot of United fans that were Ollie out prior to that final. But I presume there's still some United fans that are Ollie in and they believe that he needs more time at the club. I think he deserves next season. Solskjaer has been in charge of Manchester United now for almost 30 months. That's over 2 years. And he's endured 2 full seasons at the club. I've got to credit Solskjaer though, because I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. You've got to say he's done a good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in. But I've got to credit Solskjaer in a lot of aspects, like I've gone through with you before. I think he is our best manager since Ferguson. Reflecting now on his being at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience and he has learnt quite a bit on the job. My two biggest concerns about Ole is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns, because in a lot of his games at Man United he has been tactically naive. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.